he's a little sore. He was sore at the end of that game last night, and we didn't know how it would go. Obviously, 13 innings wasn't our optimal game for him, coming out of the gates like that. So he's a little bit sore today. We feel like we'll have him available, by end of the game, double switch, pinch hit, all that kind of stuff. But didn't feel like it was. We were hoping to get 2 straight. If it ends up being a game that's a 7 or something last night, where we can, defend later or something, we probably have him today. But at this point, we don't.
Next question for John.
Was Hanley injured last night? How's his health?
Hanley's sore today, and he got it pretty good.
Ribs?
Yeah, in the ribs. He's a little iffy for me today. He's in there, and we got him in the lineup right now. But he's sore and he's moving slow. They're going to heat him up and get him moving and see what he's going to be able to do. So it's going to be. Even though he's in the lineup, this could be a game time type thing where it changes. But he's doing okay. But it's not perfect.
Hi, Don. I'm just curious, when you talked last night about the pinch running situation in the 8th and talked about shooting your hole when you have the chance, and I'm just curious how you reconcile a decision like that with waiting for the 13th inning on your closer, and just how you make that decision last night and going forward in terms of when to use him.
Well, we thought it was just that kind of game last night. Usually you're not going to use him until you have the game. If we get a lead, you're going to put him in. But at some point during that game, you're going to use him. So once they get to a situation where it's a guy in scoring position there, we're going to try to stop it right there with Kinley, our best guy. And I talked to Kinley after the game. That's kind of the old time way of using a guy. They bring relievers in with the game on the line, and people everywhere. And nowadays we bring him into the inning, get a clean inning and things like that. That was just that type of game. And that's the reason I double switch right there, because when he gets those outs, then he'll go out for another inning. And you see what they do. They go 2 innings with their guy last night. And it's just that time of year, and it was that type of game that it was the right time for us.
Could you see using him earlier on the road and throughout the rest of the series?
It just depends the situation. We have an off day tomorrow. Do you use guys a little differently today, knowing that you have an off day tomorrow? And you would. But it's tough to kind of start thinking 2 innings or something like that with him at this point. And you're going to try one game today. So we're going to, game by game it changes. And his usage changes from how he uses it in my
Next question for John.
Looking at a couple replays of the play-on-play, which Mark Ellis got here, didn't look like guys quite got their tag on during the collision. It's like shoulder to shoulder. Did you even put any second thoughts or talking to the umpire challenging that? Do you expect that's going to be an out call every time you can flip up as technically right there?
Well, I think if you get to the point next year where you have replay and you can actually change it, then I think you got a chance to question it. They're not going to change it no matter what last night. From our standpoint, I'm sure from everybody basically in the ballpark, you see Mark Ellis gets up and walks away. He doesn't think he got to the plate. Molina walks away. He doesn't think he's even close to being safe. From our point of view, the ball beats him. He holds on to it. It's hard to say it, in slow-mo, he didn't get the tag on it. But that's not going to change last night. That's where, I guess, replay has a chance to change it, because it's almost like one of those touchdowns in the NFL, the last 2 minutes or whatever, right? They replay every play. So I don't know how the replay is going to work next year, but I'm assuming that they're going to want to get that call. They're going to want to get that right. And I don't know if that's going to be a challenge or it's going to be just automatic.
Last night after the game, you still seem pretty comfortable with that decision, pinch run for Adrian. Having had a night to sleep on it, have you thought on that change at all?
No, I think, that's why D's on the team. We have a chance to win a game right there. And you don't know you're going to go 13. You don't know Adrian's going to come back up. We don't know if we can hit a ball in the gap right there and he scores, or hits a ball somewhere and we go first or third and win that game right there. So there's a lot of things we don't know. We know after the fact. We just don't know reason that D's here, there's a number of guys that if they lead off that inning with a hit, D's going to run. So it's not just Adrian. There's a bunch of guys that we would probably run for right there.
Is that right?
Yeah, Don, on that play, did he have the green light to steal, or did you want him to just wait for a ball?
No, he has a chance to run. One of the things we talked about before he went out there, it's not like he has to go first pitch, because Yasiel's up. We know we're not going to bunt there with Yasiel. And so it's not like he has to go first pitch. Part of D being out there is the fact the pitcher has to rush a little bit. He's got to be aware of D. And there's a number of plays that D affects. Even the ball that got him at second, he's trying to basically run there and got caught, didn't get quite the jump he wanted, and then got stuck. If he has a regular lead there, he's probably safe at second on that ball. And he probably beats that if he's just playing, doesn't, basically have that false break. So he, in a sense, has a green light, but it's not like he has to go first pitch. That's the one of the things we want to make sure that he didn't feel like he had. That guy's really quick, and we know Yachty throws good. So we got to get something in our favor that tells us he's going to make that.
Connie, with Kershaw on the mound today, do you consider this game a must-win?
Well, I think in the playoffs, you look at every game as a must-win. I think you play to win every day. And even though it's a series, it's not like a season. Right? So you're looking to win, change the momentum today. We go to Atlanta last week, win the first game, lose the second, and it's like they had the momentum going into our place. If we win the second, we lose the first game in Atlanta, win the second, we would have went home feeling like we got a split where everything's great. So it's all perspective. So if we can get a split today and get ourselves back home, and play well there. So every day is really feels like a must win. Momentum changes